Hi, you guys. It's your girl, Qadriyyah Marie. What's up with everybody? Let me get myself more situated. What's up? What's up? It's 7:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm here now, about to begin my Scholar Talk. And, I had, great weekend. I had to catch up on a number of things and whatnot. So I said, let me come on tonight since I'm back on my role of doing my Scholar Talk shows. As you see, I have my little Scholar Media still in the background in my living room. What's up, Vondell? Thank you for joining. I'm just beginning my Scholar Talk tonight. As you guys can see, what's up? What's up? Thank you guys for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. Please feel free to share your thoughts, your opinions. You can share the video, invite others on, whatever you guys want to do. Thank you guys for joining. Again, I just wanted to say I had a great weekend. I hope everybody out there, had a lovely weekend as well. It's really weird, when I'm talking on here, because it's like I can see your guys' comments and it's just it's all mixed up. So it's like the only thing I can actually see is my glasses on up, so it's pretty funny. Rondell says, do not even get me started on this topic. Oh, Lord Jesus. Javon said, oh, shit, that's right. I got to stir up something, but I just brought up this topic tonight. I was talking to my best friend, Latoya Frazier. Shout out to my girl, Fraze, and we were talking about, do people really have the strength to actually be married? She's getting married soon. So we were just having this discussion. And so that's why I wanted to pose, the question tonight, do you, feel that you're actually ready or capable, of being married? So it doesn't matter if you are married. If you are married, and I guess you know already. But this is more geared towards, those who are single and, also in the dating stage. So you guys just feel free to give, your opinion. Mondell said, no, most don't. William Mathis said, sir, is the cow still for sale? Oh, he's talking. Javon, yes. I was talking to her earlier or whatnot. And we were just discussing these. I'm just laughing at you guys' comments and whatnot on here. It's funny. So we were just, discussing, and I just said, well, let me make that my topic for tonight, because people always feel like they are ready for marriage, and then when it gets closer, to that time, and then everyone start thinking like, am I really actually, ready to, to be married? So that's when the question comes up, and, people tend to not think about it until, obviously they're actually involved with someone. But I think it's a good thing to think about even while you're single or in, the talking stage or in the dating stage. I think it's very important. I think it's very important that you think about these things as an individual first, because I went on this website on romper.com. I'm sure you guys have seen that. Hold up, you guys are writing comments. I gotta check this out. I'm gonna invite you guys on in a minute. What's up? Thank you guys for joining. Vondell said 4 days. You just know that, don't you? Oh man, I ain't doing that, man. If I'm spending time and getting myself together for you, I ain't about to know nothing. Adam says our marriage was over in the church parking lot. Well, damn, boy. Wow. What's up, MJ? Thank you for joining. Javon says, well, if you're married and your answer is no, then your marriage is trash. Yeah, I wouldn't advise anyone who's actually married to come on here and admit that they may not actually have been ready and stuff. Rondell says, I'm going to use this topic in the near future too, just FYI. Yeah. Mastermind said, marriage is a state of mind. Well, what do you mean by that, though? Because that's something else. I didn't think about it that way. Mike says, my marriage ended the moment I buried her under the patio. Lord have mercy. Javon, don't be stealing my questions and stuff now, boy. Thank you guys for joining. I'm just making sure I don't miss any of you guys' questions and whatnot. No, this is my real hair, by the way. Have I been married? No, and this is why I'm actually thinking about this question myself, because I am thinking, of course, I am a single woman, childless as well. So I would like to someday, be married with at least one child, at least get one of them, little kids out of me one day. So that's why I started to think about this more, because I'm just like, this is something that a lot of people say that they're ready to be married, but in reality, they're not, So I think it's very important to think about these things before you obviously get to that stage with someone, and then you're just sitting there trying to figure out, okay, do I want to actually be bothered with this person? So I think it's an important thing that people actually take the time and look at themselves. And I think that's the hard part. People don't want to look at what they need to work on. People, and this is both for, for men and women, people tend to look at what the other person, needs to work on instead of looking at what it is that they need to do. What's up? What's up? Thank you guys again for joining. Rondell says a song that sums it up. What's the name of that song? Nikki says, don't ever get married. It's a trap. Well, damn, y'all. Y'all making it hard for us as people out here. It's already hard enough, being single out here and trying to find somebody. But now y'all saying it shouldn't even get married. Beverly says, my marriage ended when I set him on fire in my backyard. Lord have mercy. I hope you guys are actually being funny, because nowadays I be watching the first 48 and stuff, so I be having these crazy things stuck in my head and stuff. He said a leather couch would cause a divorce. It better not. See, I love leather couches, so, and we can't do leather couch. I don't know if we can make it past the dating stage. Javon says, I'm way more controversial than your boy. Bye. MJ says, when I got engaged at 33, I told Michael I was scared, and he said I am too. So we were scared together, and it would have been wonderful had he not gotten cancer a year after we were married. Yeah, MJ, I'm very sorry, to hear that. I know what, happened with Michael, and I am happy now, for you that you did, find somebody, because you do deserve to have somebody special in your life as well. Jay says, at least you don't have a beeping smoking. Rondell says, it's not about being bothered with person, but instead on the marriage. Now, what does that mean? Let me see. He said, I think that's the first issue. Rondell says people want to work on people versus the marriage. Yeah, and that's what I think the problem is, that people really are focused more on that. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that, my brother. I'm trying to keep up with all the comments. I know I can't do all this. I got these glasses on. I'm not used to wearing my glasses, so I got to use my glasses a little better. What's up? What's up? Thank you, guys. Mastermind says, because if you're with a female, your chemistry is the same. Like when you first met, your marriage will be smooth. Yeah, I agree with that. But I also know marriage, from what I've heard from other people, it's very difficult to keep, that chemistry and stuff going. So I would pray for everybody who is out there in the stage, engaged and whatnot, that you would be able to carry that on. From what I've heard from my friends, they all say that the first, 5 years is the toughest, part to get through. But for me, I would think that would be the best part, the fun part, the first year, the first 5 years or so. I would think that things start to get harder after 5 years, because now you're tired out from, seeing the person all the time and stuff. Adam says, she said she was only marrying me to get her green card. Wow, that's crazy as hell. Wow. No, that's okay, Rondell. What's up? What's up? Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. Mastermind says, like, he is still interested in doing things to keep you amazed and keeping you liking him. Yeah, I think that's that's very important as well. Beverly says, my third husband, I threw him in the Niagara Falls. You guys are wild. That's crazy. Let me see. Lily says, marriage only depends on your feeling for change. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Do you guys feel like there's more of an issue of what you have to change in yourself? Or is it like, are you guys more concerned about what, like we were talking about earlier, what the other person needs to work on? Because I really think that both things, are important. What's up, June? Thank you for joining. I think that's important to not always look at one side or the other. Like I said earlier, people tend to always look at what somebody else has to work on instead of what they need, to do themselves. Like I said earlier, I was on the website romper.com, and they were talking about 19 ways that you think that, let me see, I got it written right here so I can make sure. 19 ways to know if you should, get married, because being in love isn't always enough. And of course, that article was focused on, married couples or people who are looking to get married. But they made up good points about things that you can actually look at, within yourself. Like, for example, are you able to, to compromise? I think that's a big issue that I hear people say all the time, especially, people who are engaged or, looking hoping, to get married soon. I hear people talk about that a lot, that the compromising is the hard part. You would think other things is, but learning how to actually compromise, as far as what couch to have, in the apartment, things like that, where to live at. Those are all examples of compromise. MJ says, our first year was fantastic, easy. Michael was the kindest, most giving person I have ever met. I'm sure he was. I wish I was able to meet him as well, MJ. Javon says, whoever marries me is going to get one hell of a husband. Yeah, I believe that. They're going to have to deal with some type of, some craziness sometimes, but I know. Oh, no. Well, Paul said, Javon, why is that? Don't pay him no mind. MJ says, I've always known I have needed to work on myself, and I have been doing that. Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. People don't realize that they actually do need to work on themselves as well, which is why people say before you even get into a relationship with someone that you should work on yourself. Not even talking about, just marriage, that you do actually need to look at yourself and be able to be like, let me see what it is that I need, to work on, myself before I jump into things, because I notice people tend to rely on someone else to make them feel happy about themselves. And I feel like that's one of the biggest, issues that goes on, is that people are looking to somebody else and they're always making up, reasons why things are not working is because of what somebody else is doing. Lee says, when you get married, you have to be ready to fight for the good times because the bad times can be heavy. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And, I try to speak to a lot of, older couples as well, because they're very realistic. They'll tell you what it is. They'll tell you what it is that they had to endure. And sometimes younger people, I would say, under 40, don't believe it as much. I hear people say, well, if my husband cheat, one time, I'm out the door. For me, I don't know if I would necessarily just leave, a marriage after just one incident. If it was, just one, who knows. But I wouldn't personally, I don't think that I would do that. And I hear a lot of young people say that, and I think it's because people feel like, they can always find somebody better anyway. I think that's the mentality that, people, have now, where it's like you're with someone, but it's like you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out the relationship. And that's what's going on with a lot of people dating nowadays. They don't have 100%, into the relationship. Yes, Javon, I know women cheat too, but I'm speaking as a woman. So I'm saying, just for example, it tends to be, the man who tends to be, the one who cheat. But nowadays, as Javon said, you do have a lot of women now who are actually out here, doing that. Charles says, I have been married for 15 years, 3 different females, but 15 years. Well, at least you actually made it, past a certain time. I have people nowadays that I know who haven't even, made it to, 5 or 6 months, in a marriage, and they're done. And now they're just out, thinking about, do they even want to be, married again and stuff. Beverly says, don't jump into anything because you will be hanging him in your bedroom. Lord have mercy. That's what's hard. I don't want to ever get to that point where it's just like, okay, now, I'm tired of you and I want to get rid of you and whatnot. I don't ever want to get to that position. Thank you guys again for joining. I see you guys coming on tonight. So feel free, as I said, to, discuss the topic and, share your thoughts on, on the issue. Do you yourself think that, you're ready, to be married? You think you're capable of marriage? People always say that, that they are ready, for marriage, and then it's not always the case, because I think it's because people don't want, to look at what it is that, that they need to work on within themselves. And like I was saying earlier, just some things to think about, like, are you able, to compromise with somebody? Would you feel like, once you get married that you're actually missing out, on something else? I hear people say that often, where they're just like, okay, but if I get married, then I can have, these 2 or 3, other, women or men, or side pieces, if you want to call it that. So that's another compromise. And I tell people, I'm like, well, if you're in a relationship, this is something obviously you should discuss with someone, because you never know. You might be with someone who's actually open to you guys having, multiple partners. Now you have polyandry and polygamy, all these different things going on. So you never know. You can't just assume, if I get married, that means it's just a straight up, committed monogamous relationship. sometimes you may, actually get lucky, and the person might be open to something different as well. Javon says you gotta be good in the bedroom at least. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely at least. Lee says marriage is about your state of mind for success. Now, Lee, what do you mean by that? Javon says polygamy life. Yeah, I know you're all about that. I'm just saying, for example, there might be people who are open to not just being, into a monogamous relationship. Because I hear a lot of young people, men and women alike, who say that they don't want to get married simply because they want to be able to still have other people. And then people actually are admitting to this. It used to be back in the day, no one wanted to admit that they weren't, that they wanted to be with more than one person. Even 5 or 10 years ago, you had people, just saying, that they believe in monogamy. Now you have people actually opening up, saying that, yeah, I agree, it is kind of overrated. I heard people saying now that they feel like they can't be with one person. And I don't necessarily think that means that the person is a bad person. They're just finally getting out of society's norms of saying that they have to be with one person. Paul, I'll think about that. Depends. Lee says success for your future. Yes, I do understand that. I definitely agree as well. Mastermind says, but if the woman is doing everything she's supposed to, you won't look at a different woman or man. Yeah, I believe in that to an extent. To me, I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with you actually looking at somebody else, because I think it's natural. We all have eyes. If someone's attractive, you're going to still, you're going to look. It's to me, I think it's kind of insane to think that you or your partner is not ever going to look at another person again. Like, that's just not, I don't think that's realistic. Ryan said the best part of my marriage is my couch. Well, damn. I just feel like I said, people need to accept reality. Like, people are going to look at someone else. So I don't think that you should have in your head, like, oh, this marriage is just all about just us looking at each other all day. Like, you're going to be attracted to somebody else. Does that mean that you shouldn't be married to someone just because you find other people, attractive? Like, we are, those social, sexual, beings, if you want to call it, where you're going to be attracted to someone. Now, should you go out and act on it? No, that's a different subject. But I think it's okay if you're actually going to look at someone. Javon says that's not true. You can do everything right and they still will step out. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I'm just making the point, what he was saying earlier. Let me see. Let me cut this off. I had people texting me saying they want to come on and all this stuff. I don't know. But again, how do you guys really feel about that yourself? Do you feel that you yourself is capable of, of being married? Because like I said, some people I think who are capable think that they're not capable because they feel like they have to be, into, a monogamous relationship. And maybe that's not necessarily for them. But should that mean that they shouldn't have, a life partner? I don't know if that's true or not. I think that people just need to be, more open, to dating, other, to dating options. It shouldn't be where you feel like you're forced to do just one thing or the other. And I think that's where a lot of the problems are coming now, as you see in relationships, where people feel like they are forced to do something just to, look okay. They don't want to do something that's outside the norms because then they feel like they're going to be looked at, a certain way. MJ says, Michael and I liked other people, but neither of us were the jealous type, and we shared our crushes with each other, but never acted on them. See, and that's what I feel as well, because I feel like that's a natural type of thing. But as she mentioned, they weren't, you guys weren't the jealous type, and you shared it. And that's why I think it's important actually talking to one another and actually sharing your feelings and your experiences and your thoughts. And I feel like once that happened, things, should run smoothly, as someone mentioned earlier. Chris says it's really about if you are ready to have and commit to one another. If you don't have a spiritual bond and respect for yourself or each other, you will never be ready for marriage. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Always have some good points. MJ says we laughed about it, realized it was normal. Yeah, and that's what it is. People don't feel like things are like normal now. You know what I'm saying? It's like people need to do what it is that is normal for them in their relationship. Javon says, for me, marriage is about having a physical, mental and spiritual connection. Yeah, I agree with that as well. And it's so many different factors that actually goes into it. And I learned this from seeing, young friends of mine, getting married, or friends who are engaged. And I hear, the different things that they're going through. And it's really a combination of, a lot of things, going on and whatnot. So I feel like people need to just talk to each other. A lot of people don't want to talk to each other no more. And then they wonder why, you have these different issues. Like I said, not wanting to compromise. I wrote some other stuff down. Are you able to, not give any ultimatums? I think that's another issue where, particularly obviously women, we like to do that. We like to give ultimatums a lot. And then it's just like, is that something that you're supposed to do, in a marriage? Are you supposed to be giving out ultimatums? I don't know. This is stuff that, I'm just open to, and, I'm just, learning about as well. I also wrote down not expecting change. I hear a lot of, young people, especially women, they expect when they get married for him, their husband to just automatically change into a different person. And I was reading how that's not something you should necessarily, just expect, for someone to just, the minute you get married, to just change into, a whole nother being. And I think that's something that people, do need to think about. If you are marrying someone, people, say if that's how the person was before you got married, then you have to know that this person may or may not change into somebody else, right after you guys get married. But I think the biggest one is compromise. I hear a lot of people, say that, where they're just like, I didn't realize all the compromising I had to do. And I'm just like, well, that is a big part of you actually being married, I think, or, in a long-term relationship, if you guys are living together, is compromising for things. And people really don't want to do that. And I think it has a lot to do with just people being used to doing, things their own way, which I am myself. I live by myself and things, so I'm used to having things a certain way. And so when you get, involved with someone else and you're living together, now it's like everything, is thrown in together. I also wrote down being able to talk about money. I hear a lot of, single people, saying that they really don't want to share their finances, with a significant other. And I think that's something that people should be able to do. I know at first you may not, obviously want to share, how much you make and things like that. But I feel like if you are married, I don't think that it should necessarily be a secret how much, you're actually making. I'm like, I would think that would be an important factor, the fact of you guys knowing how much the other, makes. That's what I would think. I don't know. You guys can have your own, opinion and whatnot about it. But I think that's a big thing that people should be able, to talk about money, and also know how to pick and choose their battles. I hear a number of married couples who say that they've learned that lesson the hard way. Javon says, who I married better know that if I see a fat ass, I'm looking and she should look too. Yes, I figured that. I knew you was going to say something like that. Javon said, marriage is a business, finances can't be a secret. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to necessarily say just because of you saying marriage is a business, even though I do understand why, you're saying that. But I think that as far as, being together, you do need to know what, the other person is actually bringing home. And I do somewhat agree with that marriage is a business. Unfortunately, I shouldn't agree at all, but I do understand that that's what it's kind of turning, into in America, where it's just all about, it's all about money and finance and things like that. Javon says finances leads to a lot of divorces. Yeah, I definitely know, because I know people going through that now because of money. And it's sad though, because you have two people who still love each other, but because of money, one person is making more money than the other person, or, whatever's going on. And you're right, it definitely leads to a lot of separations, and also, a number of, divorces, like you said. And it's very, unfortunate that happens. But, you would think that, cheating would be a big issue. But nowadays, as you said, it's finances. That's where I hear a lot of people saying the finance issue is what's causing a lot of problems. And I know it's like when you're in a relationship, things happen, obviously. And some people are not prepared for that when they get married. That unfortunately maybe Shut up, Javon. There may be an issue where the person, may have been, a healthy, well-being, able to work and go out and make money. Something can happen one day where the person can get sick, and now there's only one, income coming in the house. Are you able to hold up the household? And that's a big issue where some people, they really don't think about, through sickness and through health. They're just thinking about the person being, healthy all the time. And then when something happens, the person has a debilitating, disease or something like that, and they're not able to work and bring in the same amount of money. Now, one person is feeling the burden of, taking care of the house. And some people are honestly not prepared for that. They're not prepared for taking care of all the finances, nor are they prepared for helping, a sick spouse. And those are huge, huge things I think people need to, to think about before you jump into the marriage. Like, before you actually take those vows, do you actually mean, what it is that you're saying? That's why I was asking the question, are you actually ready? Because people say that, there are people, you're in love with someone, oh my God, we're so in love, but it really can't be just based on love. Like, to me, I don't think that you should just go into marrying someone just off the fact that you love them. It's like, there's a lot of people I love out here. And I'm not sure, do I necessarily want to marry each one of them. Mastermind says, well, I'm single and ready for marriage. That's what's up. Javon says, look at you dropping jewels. So cute. Of course. That's what I do. I actually listen to other people. Even though I'm not married myself, I listen to what my friends are going through, and then I listen to, people who've been married for 10 years, people who have been divorced. So it's just really interesting to hear the different opinions. When you see people first get married, they're all about, being in love. And then you see the couples who've been married 5 or 10 years later, and it's just like you get a whole different perspective on marriage from them. They'll come out and tell you the real. Like, they'll say it's not just about love. It's actually about being patient with the person, being able, to tolerate them. And again, like I said, compromise. Those are the things I hear older couples, couples who've been married for 10, 20 years. Those are the things that I hear them say. They don't necessarily just focus on love. Yeah, they might still love the person, but they said for a marriage to work, it takes more than just, being in love. Javon said, I'm rubbing off on you. Boy, bye. What's up? What's up? Thank you guys again for joining. If you're coming on and you're trying to hate, you should get the hell off my post. But Javon, they don't want me to turn into the true scholar that I am, because I really will do that. So I'm just on here just responding to those people who are positive, people who are on here tonight actually answering my question. Not these bunch of idiots who are coming on here tonight. This is why I am the scholar, if you want to know who I am, the Scholar Media. So we're on here again tonight talking about, are you ready for marriage? Are you actually capable of being married? So that is the question tonight that we have, been discussing on tonight's Scholar Talk. If you would like to Google that, you can. Yeah, Javon boy. I appreciate everybody who did come on, tonight and talk. I will be back on again, of course, next Monday at 7:20 p.m. So if you'd like to follow me, you can hit me up on my Scholar Media page, and I will appreciate it. I hit back everybody who comes on my show, anybody who, responds back to my messages. Yeah, apparently I'm being trolled, right? Isn't that funny? But it's just like, if you're going to troll me, please be, intelligent, because if you guys are aware of what it actually means to be a scholar, hence the name Scholar Media, it actually means for you to actually have some sense before you come on and try to comment on my page. It's just, I don't get it. I really don't. It's just like Scholar Media. Please think, like a scholar. Randy says marriage is not worth it. I have a really hard time, with that, because I hear people go, back and forth saying, that they don't think it's worth it, and usually, obviously, it's, people who have been married, but now I hear a lot of people who are single who are saying they don't, believe it's worth it, and I don't know if it's because of the dating age that we're in now, where everybody's, like, fearful, we're all scared now. Can we trust somebody? We've all been hurt. And that's a big issue. I hear both men and women say that they've been hurt, so many times now. They don't think that they even want to bother being with somebody in that capacity now. Nowadays, everybody just wants to date someone. It's just talking. We just going out to eat now. We're just, having sex sometimes here and there. We're just hanging out, going out, for drinks. And that's pretty much it. You don't hear people going into more than that. So it's just like, what's up with that? Does nobody think that, like she said, marriage is not worth it? I really think that's what the mentality that a lot of people, like I said, under 40 are thinking now. And it's very different. Our parents' generation and older, it was very different for them. So now you have young people saying, this is not what I want. I don't think I want to be married. And I have a number of young friends who are, engaged and getting married. So people are still doing it. But now you hear a lot more people saying that they're not sure if this is something that they want to do. They don't know, as Javon said, about it being a business contract now. That's how people are seeing marriage. They're seeing marriage as a form of just business. And it's like, if you see it that way, is that going to make you want to go and get married? Now, if you're thinking about how much money you might lose if you were to get divorced. And that's what a lot of people are thinking. They're more concerned about losing out money than they are about, being happily, married in a, committed, relationship with someone. It's just about money. It's just like, okay, if we don't work out, how am I gonna get my money? It's sad to say it that way. And I hear, a lot of, men who are just like, I don't know, man, because it's like, I ain't gonna get my money. I need my money. So you hear a lot of men saying that, and it's just a lot of fearful stuff. Well, Randy said, I was married for 30 years. Trust me. Wow. So I'm pretty sure she knows what it is she's talking about. But it's tough, though, because it's like a lot of us, still have that fantasy about what it is, to be married and all that stuff. But then, you hear people say, well, maybe it's not the best idea. So that's why I brought the topic tonight, because I hear people saying, that they're not necessarily ready. And then I hear other people saying they think they are ready. But then when you talk to them, it's just like, no, you need to probably stay being a bachelor. Maybe you're not really ready. If you're still not able to switch couches with someone or whatever, then you need to probably just stay single. Eddie says, marriage ain't nothing but a piece of paper. Also, there's more benefits being single on paper than being married. Yeah, I hear a number of people, say that, like I said, the business aspect that, it really is just a piece of paper. And I think that's sad, though, in a sense, because, when I was younger, it used to, it was a great thing, to say, that we're getting married. But now it's being reduced to just that, just like he said, business and a piece of paper. And I don't necessarily think that's true. At least I don't want, to believe that. So, but do you guys think that it's okay to just be, in a long-term relationship with someone then and not turn it into marriage? Because I see a number of couples, do that as well. Older couples who have been together, 20, 30 years. And, they've never gotten married and yet they're still together. So sometimes, I hear people say, well, the marriage part of it actually destroyed the relationship. And I'm like, wow, that really sucks, because you guys were together all these years and all of a sudden, as soon as you got married, now you're not together just because of the business contract or whatever you guys want to call it. Thank you guys again. What's up, Scott? What's up, Nafisa? What's up, Shane? Thank you guys for coming on tonight. As you can see, we're talking about, are you ready for marriage? I see some of you guys who have come on, are, currently married. So I would love to hear your opinions on it as well. I kind of got trolled tonight on here. I don't know how that happened. How did I get, when I first came on, all these followers came on and people were trying to troll me. And I was like, they don't realize this is the scholar talking. Like, if you're going to come on, you got to come, correct to me. So, Jerron says, marriage is really a spiritual thing. We are conditioned to look at it as a social status. Yeah, I agree with that as well. My cousin Fisa said that I would tell you I was married to ice cream and cheesecake. No, I didn't get that memo, but I definitely believe it. I think that's what we're all about to do. I'm going to have to go and marry one of my slice of pizza or something. And it's crazy because I just posted yesterday, because I read these 2 articles about these 2 women who actually married their dogs. So now people really are doing stuff like that. I'm sure marrying their ice cream. If somebody can marry their dog, I'm pretty sure there's somebody out here who actually will marry their ice cream and their cheesecake. Like, it was really bugged out. Yeah, I don't even know if I want to get into that. The article said these women were married to their dogs. They took pictures, wearing, gown, the dogs and tuxes and everything. And then I saw another story. A woman actually married a ghost. So she thought it was a pirate from, 300, years ago or whatever. So it's just really like, it's really crazy as hell. MJ says, let me see. Yes, after my husband died, I didn't want to remarry, but I'm in a long-term relationship. Yeah, you're definitely a prime example of that. And I think that that's actually a great, situation, to be in, that you don't necessarily have to get remarried again as long as, you're happy and stuff like that. And he says, why get married though is an American fantasy. You can consummate your love in a different way instead of being locked into a binding agreement by law. Yes, I agree with that as well. And I'm starting, to agree with that. Like, I'm still open, obviously, to the idea of marriage, but I definitely agree with what you're saying as well, which is, what I was saying earlier, that you do have people who have been with the same person for 25 years or so and, haven't, got married and stuff. So I do see, people doing that and actually, being happy and not married. And it's not saying that, if you're married, you're automatically going, to be unhappy. That's not what I'm trying to say. There are happily, married couples out here, but I definitely do agree with that. And that's what I was saying earlier too, that there's more than one way to have a relationship. People tend to think, small and think that there's only one way that fits everybody. Javon says marriage has its benefits. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think both do. Both being single and, being married has its benefits. It's crazy because people who are getting married, are telling me, value your independence now. Be appreciative of the fact that you're single now, because when you're married, you're not going to have all those other benefits and whatnot that you had before. Let me see. All right, Javon. Let me see. Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying that, Liam. Let me see. Javon, are you coming on? Let me make sure. Javon wanted to come on, and so I added him, but now I don't see him, so I don't know if he's able to come on. He said he has something to share and whatnot. But again, I appreciate you guys coming on, sharing, your thoughts and whatnot. Let me see. I got you on. Okay. Coming on and sharing, your thoughts, about the topic, because I hear a lot of young people saying different things, and I'm just like, are you guys actually ready, to be married? Because it's like people just think that they just have to, love someone and that's it. And they don't have to work on anything as far as themselves. It's just, just loving someone. I'm like, I really think that it's more than just that. And he says, I'm personally looking for a more spiritual, non-traditional way to get married. Like, I'm looking up ancient African traditions. Wow, that's very different. Now, Fisa says, I thought once you got married, you would have fun with your partner, lots of money or not. Yeah, marriage, you should have fun. I mean, personally, I can't be with someone that I'm not having fun with. It's just like, what's the point of, me being married to you? Like, I can't date somebody who I think is boring. Like, I just couldn't do it. So I would have to be with someone who does want us to continue and have fun 10 years down the line, the same way we did, while we were dating. And you're right, lots of money or not, you still should be able, to have fun and enjoy yourself with somebody. But, people let, as we were saying earlier, money and finance issues and, life, they let different things get in the way of their marriage. And it's like they don't think about how they were when they first got together or when they were dating or engaged. Once people get married, it's just things, from what I've seen, things actually start to change, and some people are not able, to deal with that. Like I said, somebody getting sick or somebody, losing their job, those are big changes that it's hard for a lot of people to actually accept, because you don't think nothing like that will happen. You think that everything is going to be great, but, as we're all aware, things happen. We don't all know what's going to happen the next week. People really, don't know what's going to happen. So it's a lot of, unknowns and whatnot, going on in this world. So it's like you really have to try your best to prepare yourself for it. Or when you're married to this person, is this somebody that you're actually able to go through all this stuff with? A lot of times people question, like, okay, maybe I don't want to deal with this and whatnot. Like, it's really important, that's why people say, no, even think you'll ever 100% know before you marry them, but to not just rush into the marriage situation, because things happen, and the next thing you know, it's just like, oh damn, I don't really want to go through, all this with this person now. Now it's too late. Now y'all done put everything down on paper that you guys are, together, as we were saying, a business contract, and now you're saying you don't want to be with this person anymore. So that's what I find, really, confusing. And I tell people, really think about, is this a person? I actually like when I hear people say, I'm really, testing out the marriage. I'm really trying to see how, things are, going on and whatnot. Javon, I'm actually about to sign off. I'm gonna add you, but I'm gonna sign off in a few minutes. But hold on one second. I'm gonna add you though. Hold on. I'm adding you, Javon. So let me know if it actually goes through or you're still acting up. Let me see. Let's see if okay, you're on.
Finally.
Okay, yeah, it was acting up.
Yeah, my tablet, my phone was acting up for some reason, so I wasn't getting on. Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of going in and out a little bit here.
I have. Okay, I
What's
guess
up?
my tablet is acting up too. But can you? Am I good? Am I clear? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. No. Can I? Okay.
Yeah, but you're going out. I can see you, but you're going in and out a little bit, your voice. But I can see you though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's acting up a little bit.
All right. I'm leaving now. I'm gonna come back.
Hello?
Again.
Okay. What's up, Sienna? Thank you for joining. What's up, you guys? Thank you for joining again. We're just discussing, do you really think that you're, able or ready, to be married? So we've been talking about, different things going on. As you guys see, I'm being trolled, so I guess that means I'm starting to build up popularity because I am the scholar, so I expect this. So I appreciate all you guys again for coming on. Again, we've been discussing, different parts of marriage, and I've had some couples who've been, married for 30 years come on, and people who aren't married and things like that on here discussing what they all feel like they, think about this. And it's crazy. Everybody has different opinions, but a lot of people on here tonight was saying they don't think that, marriage is worth it to them in their eyes anymore. And I think that's kind of wild because, years ago, it used to be the opposite. It used to be people were really, excited about being married. And now I have people just like, this is not for people are saying this is not for me. I don't think that, I even want to be bothered. What's up, Javon? Are you back?
Am I better now?
Javon, are you back? Okay.
I'm back. Am I good now? Am I better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay. Here's what I want to share. I know a lot of people coming down hard.
You're still going in and out though, but I'm about to sign off though. So I'm just gonna get you in first. Yeah, you're still going in and out. I don't know if it's your Wi-Fi or not.
Now my Wi-Fi is my not allowing me to connect.
Yeah, I don't know why it's still acting up.
That's a lie.
Yeah, I'm about to go ahead. Okay. I mean, you can always write it on here. I know you want to say it, but if you want to write it, you can do that too. This will always having some issue going on. But we just been on here, like I said, tonight, just sharing. So I appreciate everybody. Nafisa says, let me see. Let me read. In the new times, in the new time, getting married is a waste of time because most people just leave each other. Yeah, that's how people are starting to feel now. So, and that's the unfortunate thing I think that's been happening. Kathy says, I was married for 35 years and still wound up divorced. All it did for me was prove to me that no matter how long you're with someone, you never really know them. Yeah, I'm starting to, understand that and believe that as well. And a lot of times people think that, after a year or so, you know someone. But as you said, married for 35 years, it's like you're still getting to know somebody. I have, family who've been married too, and they would say that, that after 10 or 15 years, it felt like they were still learning something new about the person, even though they were together 15 years. They still felt like they were learning something about the person all the time. Hopefully good things, but a lot of times it's stuff that you're just like, I totally didn't think that this would happen, that this person would be, turn into this type of person, or they would be holding, these type of secrets. So it's just really crazy, that you can be with someone that long. And yeah, people definitely, do change. And it's like you're with somebody, that's the thing. People think that people would just stay exactly the same too. As I was talking about earlier, before people get married, they think that the person is going to change into evolve into somebody better. And that's one problem. But then there's also the other side of it, that who you do marry may change later on. And that's another issue people, have a hard time. Even within yourself, you may not be the same person you were 5 or 10 years before, into a marriage. So people definitely do change. Ephesians says, wow, sounds like a Lifetime movie. Yeah, it's really bugged out, because I think people's opinion on marriage definitely has changed nowadays than it was, 10 or 15 years ago. Kathy says, keeping a secret from your spouse is the same as lying, in my opinion. Yeah, and some people, try to really justify what it is that they're holding, their secret that they're, holding, onto as being legit. And, sometimes they don't, obviously their intent may not be to hurt the person, but of course that's what, it ends up, being in the end. Javon, I'm actually about to sign off. I have to finish cooking and getting Chloe together. Chloe, say what's up, what's up? So I'm actually going to sign off now. And, again, like I said, I appreciate you guys for coming on tonight. It's 8:07, so I'm going to sign off so I can get myself together and whatnot. Kathy says a half truth is still a whole lie. Yes, I might actually tweet that. I really like that. But that's definitely the truth. Again, I appreciate you guys for coming on. So I'll be back on next Monday at 7:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please feel free, to check out my Facebook page, media page, Scholar Media. I'll post a link and whatnot on here. But I definitely enjoyed, tonight's conversation with all you guys. I hope everybody has, a lovely and blessed night. I hope everybody has a good day, tomorrow, at work, school, home, whatever, you have going on in your life tomorrow. I hope it's going to be a wonderful day for you guys. And please be safe out there as well if you guys are facing a snowstorm. I see that's supposed to be coming soon here in Jersey. So I don't know. I just got to prepare myself. Me and Chloe, my cat, we got to just get ourselves together. So I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Bye.